So the boys say, we're in the middle of learning the sugya of rechitza on Shabbos, washing oneself on Shabbos. So I want to take a little more look at the details of these halachas. What exactly constitutes washing, rechitza? Is it just bathing? Is it a shower? Is it the whole body, half the body, face, hands? Let's get into the details. So in order to understand this, we have to look at the Gemara. On the second side of we have Lametesam and Beis, the Gemara Shabbos. We have the Gemara says where there's a mark, the last wide line, Amar Rab Ika bar Chananya. Amar Rab Ika bar Chananya. Our Mishnah is discussing, there's a Mishnah earlier brought, the Mishnah is talking about not actual bathing, rechitza, but even lehishtatev means pouring hot water on oneself, which in modern day times we consider like a shower. Right? Rechitza was the way they would bathe themselves those days. The proper way they did it was they would actually bathe in hot water.
They went to the river?
In hot water. Yeah. That was the bathhouses. But then there was another idea where they pour hot water on themselves. That wasn't considered rechitza, that was considered shtifa, pouring water on oneself. So the Gemara says, Rav Ika bar Chananya says, our mission is discussing lishtate behen go gufei eskin. The first wide line, the first wide line. Lametesam Beis, the second page in the pen, second side. The Mishnah is talking about when pouring hot water on oneself. That's us.
The word is that pouring on yourself?
Yeah. V'hai Tana hu, and our Tana follows the opinion of this Brisa. The Tanya, the Brisa taught three opinions. A person should not pour hot water on himself on Shabbos, whether it's hot water or even pouring cold water. Divrei Meir, that's the strictest opinion. Rabbi Shimon said it's both mutter. Only actual rechitza is asur. But shtifa, pouring hot water on yourself, is mutter. Even hot water. Not only cold, even hot water you're allowed to. According to Rabbi Shimon Hega shower, the only problem is this Mishnah is the Bryce is talking about like all the Rishonim explain. Tosis explains the other Rishonim. It's not talking hot water that was cooked on Shabbos. You're not allowed to cook hot water on Shabbos, right? So it's talking about obviously hot water that was prepared before Shabbos. Hot water was prepared before Shabbos, and you want to pour it on yourself. You're not allowed to make hot water on Shabbos anyways. You're not allowed to cook, and if you do, it's also to use it. It's also to use the water. Easter was done with it. You could have such a situation also. Let's say if you turn the boiler off before Shabbos, you turn the boiler off, so the boiler will not bring in any new hot water. So all the hot water in there was heated up at a Shabbos. So Reb Shimon would tell you that's okay. It's only shituf. You're only pouring shower. You're pouring hot water. Not a problem. Rabbi Yehuda is a middle shita. He says b'chamin aser. It's also to do that with chamin, hot water. B'tzayin mutter, cold water. It's mutter. Amar Reb Chist explained machloikis Bekli. Their argument that these three Chachamim had was when you're doing the washing, you're taking the hot water from a basin, from a keli. Aba Bekark, if you're drawing the hot water from the ground, from a pool that's in the ground, the Bihakal Mutter be Mutter. Ask the Gemara of a Hamaisa Danshi Tveria Bekark, of the mice of the story in our Mishnah. There was a story that Anshi Tveria wanted to wash on Shabbos. But also Rabbana Chacham asked them, it's talking about in the ground, so even the ground is also. If you want to interpret Chista's words, you have to switch it around. Machloikis Bekarka, the argument was in the ground. The Kli Diva Hakala. All three opinions agree that taking hot water from a keli, from a basin, and pouring on oneself is asur. But if you're drawing the water from a pool in the ground, it's different. Then it's a machloikis. According to the mayor, it's asur whether it's hot or cold. According to Rabbi Shimon, they're both mutter. According to Yehuda, in the middle, b'cham and aser, hot water is aser. So, who is the halacha like? Very important. We have a brayso here, 3 opinions. Amar Rabba Bar Chana said, Amar Rabbi Yechon, name Rabbi Yechon, halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that hot water it's aser to the shtifa, cold water is mutter. Amar Rabbi Yosef asked to Rabbi Bar Chana, how do you know the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda? Is this something that you heard as a tradition that the Chacham and Paskin always like Rabbi Yehuda in this scenario? Or you learned this out from sort of some klal, miklala, from a rule? Is there a certain rule that taught you how to infer this from the Brayso? So the Gemara wrote a question before answering. The Gemara asked, what type of rule can one use over here, klal, to infer the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda? My klal, the 4th line from the bottom, beginning of the line. My klal, what's the klal? To Amar Rav Tanchum said, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yanai, Rabbi Yanai, Amar Rav, Kol Mokim Shatem Moitz Shnayim Chalukim, Ve'echa Machriya Halacha Kidim Machriya. Anytime in a Brayso or a Mishnah, you find a machlokes, 3-way machlokes, 2 people are arguing in the extreme, and one opinion goes in the middle, and is machriya, and says, halacha is like you in this case, but halacha like you in this case. Halacha is like the divrei machriya, the one is machriya in between the opinions, the halacha is like him. Chutz mikuli matlonis, besides a specific scenario in Shas, certain argument, where in that case, in that situation, we're not going to get into it, but Rabbi Kiva's machriya ain't halacha kirem de machriya. In that case, the halacha is not going to be like Rabbi Kiva. Chad Rabbi Kiva Talmud, because Rabbi Kiva is a Talmud of theirs, so we're not going to pass him like a Talmud when you have the Rebbe's words there. But oid. No, we have to go back a page, the first page. Rabbi Kiva, we find in Shas, and that specific argument changed his mind and he agreed with Rabbi Shua. Now, what does this klal mean? Basically, this klal is, in this mission we had here, Rameir went to the extreme, Bechamin and Soinin is also when you're doing shtifa. Rabbi Shimon said both are mutter. Rabbi Yehuda was the machriya. He said, Bechamin, you're right, Rameir is aser. But Zayin and Mutter like Reb Shimon. He went in the middle, he was Machriya. So that would be a klal that he could have inferred to learn that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. So that was the Gemara's question. Did Rabbi Bar Chana know this from, he heard it clearly as a tradition, as a Messiah, or was it something that he knew from this klal? The Gemara asks, V'imi klal amai, if you're going to say, we learn that from a rule, I have a question. Maybe this whole rule was only said regarding a Mishnah. When you have a Mishnah, you have 3 opinions. You have one of the Tanoim is Machriya in between, the 3rd opinion. Then Allah is Machriya. Who said this rule applies to a Brayso? A Brayso means, the word Brayso comes from the word bar, outside. Rabbeinu Yehuda Nasi, when he formulated the Mishnah, he left out certain halachas that the Tanoim taught. He left it out of the Mishnah for certain reasons. Either because maybe he thought it's not the halacha, or it's redundant. For different reasons he left it out. Those teachings are called Brayso because Brayso, the word bar, that they are excluded, were left out from the Mishnah. So this rule that we follow always halacha, the klal, kedivrei machriya, the 3rd opinion that goes in the middle, maybe that's only said by a Mishnah. But our situation, we have here a Brayso. This is a Brayso where we argue Rameir, Rabbi Yehuda, and Shimon about shtifa. So who said this rule applies? So that's why the Gemara had that question. Where did Rabbi Bar Chana get it from? Rabbi Yosef had asked, is it from a klal that he knew Allah was like Rabbi Yehuda, from this rule? So the rule, I could question the rule. Maybe it doesn't apply in a Brayso. Maybe it only applies in a Mishnah. But if you heard it as a tradition, then that's how the Chacham always paskin. So we know the halacha, the majority rule like Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Lehi responded back, the 3rd line, and Abba Feda Shneeli. This is the ending of this point in the Gemara. I heard it clearly. Abba Feda Shemasaira. a tradition that we pass like Rabbi Yehuda. So we know the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Pouring hot water is also asur, but doing a cold shower would not be asur. That's the halacha. Now I want to learn another shtickle of it. The Gemara is going to discuss now, is going to be machlokes Rav and Shmuel about actual rechitza. When it comes to rechitza.
When we do Shabbos, what do we do?
It's Shabbos.
What do you mean Shabbos?
On Shabbos you go to the mikveh. What is it called?
Rechitza. Because you're putting your body into the water.
When not karka.
Rechitza is asur, karka or keli. Rechitza is always asur, putting your body into the water. Now Gemara's whole discussion was shtifa. Shtifa, but in the ending of the day, shtifa is asur, even in the karka. Yeah. Now, the Gemara is going to go back to digress. When we say rechitza is asur, bathing in water is asur, what happens if someone goes and dips his hand, instead of putting his whole body in the water, he dips one aver, one limb at a time, puts his hand in, he puts his other hand, he puts his feet in, each one separately. So he didn't go fully in. He didn't do something which is a normal derech of rechitza. It's not the standard style rechitza. Even shetifa in the times of the Mishnah, the Gemara, pouring hot water on yourself was not the regular style of rechitza those days. Pouring hot water. They would actually go into the hot water and scrub themselves in the hot water. So we have to understand how much Chachamim include in the Gzeira. What was included in the Gzeira of Rechitza? What did they make asur? We now learned that shtifa is asur, because you pass like Rabbi Yehuda, that shtifa, pouring hot water is asur, and what cold water is mutter. Now going back to Rechitza, putting one's hand into the water. Can I do each one? Maybe it's only asur when I do your whole body. Rechitza is cold gufa, but every aver itself is permitted. It's a machlokes Rav and Shmuel, the Gemara. Rav held, I could do every aver. Do every limb for itself is okay. Because I'm not doing the normal, it's abnormal. So it's okay. Shmuel held no. Chacham held that's still considered a form of rechitza, and that's still included in the Gzeira. We'll take a look in the Gemara. The Gemara is to explain the halacha is like Shmuel, the stricter opinion. Itmar was said, Cham and Shov Erev Shabbos, you had hot water was heated up Erev Shabbos. Rav says, L'macher, in the morning, the next day, Reich, it's been kol gufe ever. Now you'll see the fifth line. You can bathe each one of your ivarim, the limbs, each one for itself, as long as you don't do bavas sachas at one time. Shmuel said no. Chazal were only matir to do your face, your hands, and your feet. Those are the parts of the body that people wash. Even at home, it's normal to wash your face, hands, and feet. And those are the parts that get the most dirty. That's where you're not covered. So in those days, they walked around barefoot. So upon you have the v'raglov. But you can't wash every aver for itself. That's us. So the Gemara asks, Meisei, we have a brisa which seems to be against Rav. Shabbos, l'macher, reichetz, ben pani ad raglov. Have a loikol gufa, you're not allowed to wash your entire body. Clearly l'chor against Rav, to yufta the Rav. This is a shlug up of Rav. Says the Gemara, Amalacha Rav will answer you he'll answer this brisa. Loikol gufa b'bas achas, so aver. Of course, that brisa meant to say you're not allowed to bathe your entire body in one shot. I'm talking about doing each limb for itself. It doesn't say, the brisa says loikol gufa, you're not allowed to bathe your entire body. Of course. I also agree you're not allowed to go into the put your body in. Each aver for itself is mutter. Loikol gufa b'asachas, so aver. Says the Gemara, but it's true, but the ending of the brisa says that you only allow panav yadav v'raglov ketani. It only says hands, face, and feet. Seems like you can't do all the other limbs. It says Rav ke'ein panav yadav v'raglov. I'm going to learn pshat. It doesn't mean literally only hands, feet. Those are examples. Really, you can do every aver in the body you want. Every aver for itself, as long as you don't do it in one shot. But now we have another brisa, which is problematic. Chazal, we see in a brisa, Chazal will only matter your hands, face, and feet. So the Gemara is simple. Again, Rav will answer up this brisa with the same answer. It doesn't mean only your hands and feet and face. It's an example. You can do other limbs of your body also. And now the Gemara actually gets a brisa which actually really does the job and shlugs up Rav. Tanya Kavasa, the Shmuel, we have a brisa that learns like Shmuel. Chamen shehochim erev Shabbos. Chamen was heated up erev Shabbos. On Shabbos, l'macharech it's been yochon yirav raglov. On Shabbos, you're allowed to wash your hands, face, and feet. Avaloi kol gufei aver. This brisa says actually clear out. You're now allowed to wash the body aver, limb by limb. That's exactly what Rav wanted to be matir. Doing limb by limb, every aver for itself. The brisa clearly says it's also. The brisa concludes, the same halacha would also be by on Yom. Okay, very good. We have a machloikis Rav and Shmuel whether washing every limb for itself is a problem. Rav said it's okay. Shmuel says it's a problem. Halacha is kishmuel. We're going to learn just a few more lines. Rabbah taught that Rav didn't mamish say Rav had a different version of Rav. Rav had a different version of Rav. He had a different version of what Rav said. And the Gemara is going to say, the Gemara is going to say that even that version of Rav that Rabbah had, and he was taught a different version of Rav, even that version is upgeshlakt from the brisa we brought. It's not correct. Even the second version of Rav. Rabbah masti lola hashmaitza the Rav b'hai lishna. Rav taught the teaching of Rav. Rabbah taught it in a different way. This is how he taught it. Chamashum erev Shabbos, hot water that was heated up. Erev Shabbos, l'machar the next day. Amar Rav tells us, Roich has been kol gufa mishayir bechad. You're allowed to wash your entire body, as long as you leave over one aver, one limb. For one limb you didn't wash, so it's already abnormal and it's not a derech chachitza. Eisvei kohanik tiyufta. The Gemara says the same way we ask questions from the brisa on the previous way we learned Rav. On this version of Rav, you can also ask the same question. So Lamaisa, there are two versions of Rav. Either Rav had wanted to be matter washing each one of the bodies separately, putting the limb into the pool of hot water. The halacha is like Shmuel, you cannot do that. Another version of Rav, the Rav said you can wash your entire body besides for one limb, and we also don't hold the halacha is not like that because of these brises. Now, the interesting kasha, the Magen Avram, one of the foremost poskim in Shulchan Aruch, I wasn't able to make proper copies. My computer has been not functioning for a week. But Lamaisa, well, outside, the Magen Avram says, when the Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to wash your body, he adds in, you're not allowed to do also not only your whole body, but the majority of your body. Roiv haguf. Majority is also problematic.
Does it talk about parts?
It says majority.
Well, that's good then.
Majority is problematic, he says. The question is, the Magen Avram says the majority is problematic. Now, the Pri Megadim, the big poskim, the Pri Megadim interprets the Magen Avram. He says, where does the Magen Avram get this from? The majority of the body is problematic. He says two things, 2 points. Number one, he says, look in the Gemara over here, that we just learned, our Gemara, you see clearly that majority of the body is problematic. What was the second language of Rav? The second version of Rav was that Rav wanted to be matter washing the entire body except for one limb. That's majority of the body. Yeah, 95% of the body, whatever it is. And still no, the halacha is not like Rav. Number two, the Pri Megadim says, we know we have a rule in the entire Torah. It's called Rubai Kekuli. Majority is considered like the whole. You know, like the Torah tells when we have a bezdin, we have 2 against 1. Halach is like the Raiv. Like the Raiv, we go like the majority. Achi Ram Lahatis. We say the same thing when we have a drop of milk gets mixed into a pot of meat. We go like the majority. Like the pot of meat and it's kosher. Achi Ram Lahatis. We go after Raiv. The entire Torah is that way. When you do shechita, we shechta behema, you have to cut both simonim, both the trachea and the esophagus. Kanev aveshet. How much do you have to cut? Do you have to cut the whole thing? No. The majority is enough. Rubai kekule. Rubai is considered kekule. when you have to on Pesach, you have to drink the dalakoisis. So l'chatchila you should try to drink the whole cup. But if you can't, rubi kekumi, roiv hakoi is enough. If you can't even do that, there's more shittas which are mekel, like we spoke before Pesach. But there's a concept of rubi kekuli in the entire day. Said the Prima Godim, it's very obvious, even if we didn't have this Gemara, but the Magen Avraham is correct. Just because it doesn't say clearly the entire body is Asr, that majority of the body is Asr, but everyone in the Torah, wherever the whole is Asr, then part is Asr, majority is Asr. On a side note, when you have a minyan, in order to say Baruch Hu or Kaddish, you need to have 10 people, but you only need to have 6 people answering. That's the same idea. Roiv HaMinyan. When it comes to Chazaras HaShatz, it's different. Chazaras HaShatz really is you really yoytze Shemon Esrei. So if you want to say against Shemon Esrei, 9 people have to listen. It's not enough that you have 6 people able to answer. But when it comes to Baruch Hu, it comes to Kaddish, even if 4 people are middle of davening, or they're not able to answer, you have, as long as you have 10 people in the room, as long as you have 10 people in the room, you have.
Really? You don't need Tisha Oinim.
No, Tisha Oinim is a concept only for Chazaras HaShatz.
Wow.
Anything else that has to do with Kedusha, Baruch Hu, Kaddish,
You don't need Tisha.
6.
It's not fallacious. Not yet.
Yeah.
So when you're waiting for a minyan, you can do Baruch Hu if you just have 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be the best idea, because when you come to Shemoneh Esrei, you might not have 9 people davening with you. You could daven Shemoneh Esrei also. 6 people davening with you is considered davening with a minyan. The only problem is when you finish Shemoneh Esrei, you need to start Chazaras HaShatz. Then you have 9 people. So if you don't start with the people,
So that's why you have the filler, is the guy who daven just stay for a few minutes.
Yeah. The starting minyan also only needs 6 people to be considered davening with the minyan. You need the other 4 people to be in the room, because you need to have 10 people to have the Shechina Shoira, to have an Eidah, to have you in the room. But 6 people need to daven with you to be considered a minyan. That's considered majority, Roiv HaMinyan.
So rub the body, meaning
Now,
a full shell.
so says the Prima Godim, what the Magen Avraham is really telling us, that majority of the body is usher to do. What he means by majority of the body, if he's majority of the body is usher, Roiv HaGuf, says the Prima Godim, it's mashma that way from the second language of Rav, in the Gemara here.
Even if you do
Because he said Rav said the whole body, he wanted to be matter the entire guf if you leave over 1 aver. But we say that's also that the halacha is not like Rav. So he said, but even without the Gemara, we have the concept of Roiv HaGuf. However, Lamaisa comes along one of the poskim called the Oila Shabbos. And the Oila Shabbos lived around 300 years ago. And the Oila Shabbos says that the Magen Avraham's words, that he said majority of the body is problematic, he said just 2 words, Einay Mochrach. It's not definite what he's saying. Einay Mochrach. It's not Mochrach. It's not for sure what he's saying. He doesn't explain himself. It's not for sure that it's usher to have majority of the body. The shaila is, why is he saying that? Seemingly, the Prima Godim explained the Magen Avraham nicely. Why shouldn't Roiv HaGuf be usher? That seems to be what Rav meant in the Gemara. Rav said, the second version of Rav was, Rav wanted to say, Roichitz ben kol gufay, Meshayar vechot. If you do your entire body except for 1 aver, it's mutter. The Gemara said the halacha is not like Rav, it's like Shmuel. Assuming a clear Gemara, you're not allowed to do majority of the body. It's problematic. Not only even more than majority, you have even 1 limb leaving over, it's problematic. So, why is the Oila Shabbos saying Einay Murchach? This is not for sure. It's not definite what he's saying. Could be, but it doesn't have any raya. It's a clear Gemara. So there's another sefer, one of the Biyaner Hasidim, wrote a sefer 130 years ago. His name was he was a Rav in Barditchev, the city of Barditchev, 100 years after Levi Yitzchak of Barditchev was the Rav there. He was the Rav of Barditchev, and he was a chassid of the first Biyaner Rebbe, the son of the Ruzhin Rebbe. So he was a big Talmid Chacham. He wrote a very nice sefer, and his sefer Tehillah David he has a very geschmack pshat to explain what the Magen Avraham was saying. He actually does not address the Oil Shabbos' question. But we're going to answer up the Oil Shabbos' question on the Magen Avraham with the Tehillah David's pshat. The Tehillah David has another question on the Magen Avraham. He says, what's the Magen Avraham teaching us here? You just come and tell me a clear Gemara? It's a clear Gemara. What's the Chiddush of the Magen Avraham? I'm going to tell you majority of the body is Aser, Rav Yaakov is Aser. It's a clear Gemara. What's he telling me? So therefore, because he has his kasha, the Tehillah David comes up with a very nice pshat in the Magen Avraham, that the Magen Avraham is actually telling us something that we would not learn out from this Gemara. We would not on our own know that, and here he came to teach us that that's us. What could it be? So basically what he explains is there are two types of Roiv Haguf. There is a Roiv Haguf when I put majority of the body into the water. Go and enter into a pool of hot water on Shabbos and wash majority of the body. Just I left out a limb, one limb I didn't wash my head. I entered the pool and I scrub myself down the entire body. That's called Roiv Haguf B'Yachad. Roiv Haguf Avas Achas. I did majority of the body, but in one shot. That majority was in one shot. However, it says the Tehillah David that the Magen Avraham was not coming to teach us. That's obvious from Rav's teaching in the Gemara that that's Asr. That you cannot do the majority of the body in one shot. What the Magen Avraham came to teach us was something that's not clear in the Gemara. He came to teach us that even if you did majority of the body limb by limb, putting one limb in at a time into the hot water, not at one shot. One, put in your hand, then put the other hand, put the foot in, the other foot in, till all together, it's majority of the body. Is that Asr? Is that Asr? It's Taka Roiv Haguf, majority of the body, but I did each Aver for itself. Each limb for itself. So maybe the Gemara is only answering when I do Roiv Haguf of Asachas, the majority of the body in one shot. But not majority of the body, Aver, limb for limb. So came along with Tehillah David and says, the Magen Avraham, when he said Roiv Haguf is Aser, was coming to Mechadish a second hyphen. That the Gemara told us that Roiv when Rav was trying to be matter majority of the guf in one shot. And the halach is like Shmuel that you're not allowed to do that. Magen Avraham came to tell us something that does not say in the Gemara. He came to tell us even if you do each limb for itself, but the majority of the body you're not allowed to. So the way we'll term that, just to keep it clear, Roiv Haguf Bevatzachas is one way. Roiv Haguf Aver Levad. Each guf, putting each one for itself in.
You can learn al achat kama v'kama. If Roiv Haguf we're not allowed to, al achat kama v'kama if you take part by part.
No, Adrabah. Maybe when I do something, when I go in majority of the body into the water, right? Even though I, let's say, kept my head out of the water. But I mamish washed myself like a normal way. So we say Rube Kekulei. Majority is like everything. Over here, I did not enter into the water. I'm putting each one for itself. It's very abnormal. So maybe this would be mutter. Comes along the Magen Avraham is Machadish is mutter. With this, the Tehillah David explains what the Magen Avraham's Chiddush is. And with this, we could also understand how the Oila Shabbos' question that he asked on the Magen Avraham, he said, Einei Mochrach. It's not for sure the Magen Avraham's Chiddush. We asked before, why is it not for sure? It's a clear Gemara. It's not a clear Gemara. Based on the Tehillah David, it's not clear. The Gemara is clear only that Roiv Haguf when you do it in one shot. But Roiv Haguf, which is one by Aver, Lav Dafke. So the Ma'ila Shabbos is saying, you Magen Avraham, you have a nice Torah, a nice Chiddush, but it's not definite. It could be, but it's Einei Mochrach. It's not for sure. The Ma'ila Shabbos is not convinced. But the Tehillah David is a very nice diuk to explain that the Gemara is referring to the first stage, where you do it in one shot. He says, look in Rashi. There's a Rashi. Yeah. 12 lines, the right column, 12 lines into Rashi. From the top of the page, 12 lines. The line starts with Reichitz behen kol gufay. Dibra Maschel Reichitz behen kol gufay. That's the second version of Rav. Explains Rashi, what did Rav want to be matter here? The halach is not like Rav, but what did Rav want to be matter? Reichitz behen kol gufay biyachad. He adds in the word biyachad. he wanted to be matter bathing one's entire body in one shot. You left out one limb, like your head or your hand, you left out. That's what Rav wanted to matter. And the Gemara says the halacha is not like Rav, it's like Shmuel. So from the Gemara itself, we only know that the halacha is you're not allowed to bathe the majority of your body biyachad, bevasachas. But what happens if I did limb by limb? So that the Magen Avraham came to be mechadesh according to the Tila Davin's understanding. It's not clear. According to the way he understands, that's what the Magen Avraham came to mechadesh. Now, what's the halacha l'maisa? Is it us or is it not us? It's negeya, right? If someone wants to turn off his boiler before Shabbos comes in and wants to bathe himself limb by limb, he can turn on the hot water and turn on the shower and put in one limb at a time. As long as he doesn't do the whole body. He could do majority of the body one limb by limb. According to it could be according to the Magen Avraham, the way that Tehillah David understood, it's asur. But if we learn to Magen Avraham that maybe it only, if we understand the Reva Guf only means we do it in one shot, it's mutter. So everything depends how you learn the Gemara and how you learn the Paiskin. So I want to take a look at the Alter Rebbe's Lush in his Shulchan Aruch, which it's not clear. It's not clear.
For your opinions.
If someone did it, you can't make a macha. Don't make a macha. He could be a big London and he found a way to be mad to it. It's not clear what the Magen Avraham meant. He just says Reva Guf. We don't know what he meant. Tilo David learns this. Tilo David learns this way. It could be that snapshot. It's not clear.
You can find Kula on this sugya.
Maybe you have a Shas Tzchak. Let's take a look. The Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. The last, the third page. The third side. A shtickle pilpul here, but I hope the Olam's following along. Sif Aleph. Somewhat. Sif Aleph. Asur chachamim lirchitz kol gufay rubi b'chamim. This point's going to be later on. We're going to start off. The chachamim forbade bathing lirchitz to do rechitza, the whole body or majority of the body. We still don't know what majority means, right? Majority might mean just when you do it with basachas, biyachas.
He doesn't say nothing.
Doesn't say anything. B'cham in hot water, bein in mikli, whether hot water is in a keli, bein in mekak, whether in the ground. Hafilu holchem erev Shabbos, even though it was heated up from erev Shabbos.
This you don't know, right?
We learned already some of these things. We could skip 5 lines. The line starts with the gecholim. The middle line says lefichach. Because we were worried about these bath attendants, the balonim, that were heating up the hot water on Shabbos. The ficha, therefore, asru l'chol adam lirchitz b'cham. Chazal assered for every person to bathe in hot water. Afilu shaloi b'merchas balonim. Even if it wasn't in the bathhouse with these bath attendants available. Chazal made it also point blank. V'afilu lishbecha mayim al gufi lishtatif. Even if you just pour water on your body. That's like the opinion of Yehuda and the Bryce. Remember the Gemara said the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. That we have a Messiah, the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. That even shtifa, pouring hot water is us. The Alter Rebbe explains what's the chiddush. That's not the normal way that you bathe yourself in the merchas those days. Now it's the opposite. People more take showers than baths, right? But then the Iker took a bath. When they used to take a bath, you put your body and your limbs into the water. Chazal went further. They not only asked shetifa, pouring hot water, the din of Shmuel in the Gemara. We learned in the Gemara that even if you bathe each limb for itself, but you do your entire body, each limb for itself, is also so. That's a Shmuel taught us. Even if you are not doing the majority of your body in one shot, it's still also if you do every limb for itself.
Even if it's not every limb, but it's not the row of the limb, not the row of the body. Let's say you do only hand and feet.
Alter Rebbe did not yet say seemed. He had the word bevas achas. This is the deal. He the first one who mentioned something. V'loi roiv gufay. First paisik. V'loi roiv gufay bevas achas. That Chazal came and asked of even bathing every limb for itself, even though you did not put majority of the body in one shot. It seems that what is the Isser? The real Isser is to do roiv gufay bevas achas. But if you do every limb for itself, it's also Asr. But who said a majority is going to be Asr? It doesn't say. So it could be that only roiv gufay bevas achas is Asr. Maybe that's how the Alter Rebbe interpreted the Magen Avraham. This halacha comes from the Magen Avraham. The Alter Rebbe could be interpreting that when roiv gufay, this is our problem here. The Magen Avraham said roiv gufay is Asr. We don't know what he means roiv gufay Asr. Did he mean roiv gufay bevas achas in one shot, entering into the bath, just keeping your head out of the bath, the rest of the body in is problematic? But if you do each limb for itself, stick in one limb at a time, even though it's a majority, it's not a problem. Or no, when the Magen Avraham said roiv gufay is Asr, he meant even if it's each limb for itself. For the Alter Rebbe, maybe we could be medayik that he only asked roiv gufay bevas achas, so one shot. So it's not clear. So because it's not clear, every Rav could take it this way or that way. Someone could come to the sugya, and people could learn it each way. It's still up for discussion. What's the halacha of roiv gufay?
Rabbi, lehavdil alfi havdalut. Friday night, the terrorists killed the 3 families. Before he went to make the act, he poured water on himself. And they said he wanted to be tahor before he go make the murder. That's what the newspaper said. He poured water on himself to pure himself. It's unbelievable how...
It's not the gay.
Huh?
It's not shaykh.
It's not shaykh. I'm just saying how they think.
His mother also, his mother said, praised him for his actions also.
Crazy people.
So
You know, it says by Yishmael, we already have in the Medrash, the Gemara already says that the Torah was given. Already going on a tangent, but the Torah, before Hashem gave the Torah, he went, he offered it to other nations. So what did Yishmael ask? They asked, what did it say? So Hashem said back to them, it says, don't kill.
I live in that.
So they said, it's not for us, that's what we live on. So Yishmael, from all times, loved murder. This is what Yishmael is all about. Where does it say about Char B'Chatzichya? Sure? But the Gemara clearly says like Sitza by Yishmael. That possible by Esav, basically. Look inside the Chumash. But
they do both. They do Rotin and animals and and then continue the other one picking up with the Chomin. What's the word of picking up with the Chomin?
Even though you're not putting your whole body in, you're just doing each limb for itself, or you're pouring hot water, and this is not the regular way of doing rechitza, so why should it be asr? It's like a shinui. It's not the derech.
Even that
it's asr. After became leichilko chama zid asr. Even so, Chacham did not make a differentiation in their decrees. Since it is similar somewhat to rechitza, you're doing your whole body or majority of the body. Now,
it's to know how they used to do a body then, not like today.
Listen, it's not so long ago. It used to be showers is a recent phenomenon. You know, I don't know if it's American phenomenon or whatever it is, but it's a recent phenomenon. Showers. People took baths. That's what it was. And people still take baths, right?
Every house has a bath in it, whether people use it or not.
Right, and people and it used to be. You see how all the older houses have these huge baths. You know, they have the feet and everything, the big baths, and you got to climb into the bath. It's a whole.
Best thing to take a bath and then shower.
It's a whole seder hadvarim.
I remember my grandmother only took baths. I remember looking back.
The older people, yeah, they took baths.
It's a long generation.
And they used to sit down and pour water on themselves.
Probably how the shower doesn't clean as well. You know, it needs to be in a bath.
The bath didn't consume The water that's coming off, the dirty water that's supposed to get cleaned.
Bath houses. Right.
No, okay.
I
So
don't fit in the
people
bathroom, so I
in the house,
Missing out.
they
worry
would
about it.
pour water over themselves. You know,
Shtifa, like here.
yeah.
Do you still have like a little
I think in Russia, a lot of places, they still have bathhouses, I think. I don't know.
Turkey has.
Some places have still. We still have the mikveh, so we have the bathhouse, we have the merchets. A lot of people, they like the showers in the mikveh better than their house. They go to the mikveh.
Some
When I
of
was-
them
when I was in
have a
Russia-
better, good pressure.
When I was in Russia, a lot of places they still they wash the dishes not in the kitchen, in the bathroom. I don't know why.
When I was in camp in a certain place, I was in Chelyabinsk in camp. You know Chelyabinsk? Chelyabinsk. So it was like this gateway to Siberia. The kids, they never took showers or baths. They had a little faucet that came out of the wall at a lower level, like a room with faucets. And the faucets were like knee height or something, lower down. And they would bend down and they would wash their hands and their feet like this. And there was showers, like, but that's how the campers showered. There wasn't they had like rooms for the adults, had regular showers. And we would have to, in our building, we had the camp, there was no showers. We walked 5-10 minutes to the main building, and we used to go into someone's room and take a shower, a regular normal shower. But the campers entire summer did this like this, and they would go underneath
That's a normal thing for them.
yeah, listen.
They wouldn't take baths either.
And not everywhere. In Moscow, it's not like it, I'm sure.
Now,
Yeah. This is Siberia.
so they didn't have it.
I'm 43 years old.
No, all the houses have showers. Every house has showers.
Better than here. 100% better than here. Better than
I'm talking about Siberia, outlying cities.
everything is styled.
You go to the big cities, everything's like regular.
Not the big city. When you travel to the city, you're like these small towns.
The thing with Russia, the big cities are all very developed. They're very modern cities. But you go further out, there's very villages that are living very old style. That's the
It's
thing.
like when I was there, you go outside here.
Yeah, you go a little bit out of the big cities. You have, I think, the cities still that are not connected with the. I don't know if they're connected with the phone. They have like one phone in the city. You know, there's a.
Some of the villages. Small villages.
Yeah, Lubavitch, the village of Lubavitch. When we went to the village of Lubavitch, I think there was only one phone in the post office. And when I was there was electricity. Every house had like one bulb. Like there was no heating system. And a very old lady, we came to go to come to the oil. She wanted to heat up the house a little bit. It was cold. So she brought some firewood and she made a fire in the fireplace. And we had in water, there's no running water. So we went like the old days, carried the water from the well. And yeah, that's exactly the way it was. You don't have to go like read in stories. It actually exists. They're doing the same thing. They're carrying water.
That was like 15 years.
They're going around with horses and buggies. There's maybe like one car in the town. And the biggest, richest person in the town has a car.
But they have a cell phone.
I'm sure now things are much different, you know.
The
But,
old Arab
How
country,
big is it?
the old villages.
5
still-
families, 10 families?
no, but
Nobody lives in Lubavitch. Nobody lives.
I don't know. 50 maybe, 50 families.
Oh,
Yes.
Now nobody.
Listen, you have places even worse. In Africa and India, it's even worse.
Bob.
It's much worse over there.
If it's 50 families, who's going to care about it?
In Russia, they don't give it. Maybe it was 100 families, but I didn't walk around the whole city. I never had time to walk around to see.
How many years ago?
I went straight to the oil. There's a house, right? The house closest to the field where you walk a few fields in where the oil is. For the Rebbe's at Samach Tzedek and Marash. There's a house there, a very old house. That is, they bought years ago for the Rebbe, this house. And the Rebbe was never there, but they bought it for the Rebbe. The Rebbe used to sell it in the Mechiras Chametz, sell this house. They bought it for a few dollars. I don't know what they bought this house. And it says someone spray painted 770. People go inside, and that's where you write your pan. You want to rest a little bit in this little hut, little house.
No, it's a nice place already.
Now they built it over.
Gorgeous. Lubavitch. Beautiful place. Really nice.
Okay. A little bit of Fabrengen already. Yeah, so that's the Maisa Benegeya Roiv Gufay. I want to go one more thing, another thing. So we now know that it's not clear, there's a suffix, whether Roiv Gufay Vas Achas is Aser only, or even Roiv Gufay Aver Levade. Each limb for itself is Aser. It's not clear. The suffix. Now, we know, we see from the Gemara, we learned that halacha is like a Yehuda, that not only bathing is usher in hot water. We're going over to another issue. Shtifas kol gufay, pouring hot water on yourself, or your entire body, taking a shower of your entire body is also usher, included in the gzeira of rechitza, of bathing on Shabbos. However, comes the shayla, what happens if I pour hot water on each one of my limbs for itself? Not the entire body. What happens if I do each aver, each limb for itself? Is that usher? I pour on here, I pour on here. If I put my arms into the pool, into the bath, put each limb for itself, we said that Rav said, the Gemara says the halacha is like Shmuel. If you do your entire body aver is problematic. Putting it into the bath. Well, what about if I'm pouring hot water, not on my entire body, but each aver for itself? Shtifas aver levad. What's the halacha? Kol gufay. So the Pri Megadim brings up a shaila about this, and he says it seems you could maybe be medayik from the Shulchan Aruch's lashon that this is mutter, because Shulchan Aruch only mentions the isser of each limb for itself when it comes to actual bathing, putting your limbs inside. But when it comes to pouring shtifa on the head, it doesn't say aver levad, it just says pouring. But he says from the Rambam's lashon, it seems like maybe it is aser. The Oila Shabbos, the sefer we brought before, the Oila Shabbos, he is medayik from a Ran, one of the Rishonim. The Ran that Rabbeinu Nissim holds clearly that it's awesome. He clearly says it's awesome. Not only rechitzas kol gufay aver, but shtifas kol gufay aver, each limb for itself, pouring hot water also be awesome. However, the Tehillah LaDavid, again, we brought the Sefer Tehillah LaDavid. He says from two other Rishon, from another Rishon, the Smag, the Sefer Mitzvah Gadol, and from one of the Gedolei Achronim, the Marshal, it's mashav. They would hold it's mutter to do shtifa, to pour hot water on each limb for itself, even in your whole body. You're cleaning your entire body, but since you're pouring it on each limb, it's not a problem. Halacha l'maisa, you could maybe be medayik from the Shulchan Aruch Harav that it's mutter.
Look at the last line. אבל מותר לרחוץ ב5 מלא לרגליו, או שהדברים, כל שינה הוא חצור.
No, that's rechitza. That's rechitza. One second. Shtifa. Let's go back 2 lines. The ending of the first paragraph, right? Sif Aleph. 2 lines before, it says Afilu Reichitz. It says it's Chazal Aser, Afilu, the line starts with Shasham. Line starts with Shasham. Afilu Reichitz kol Eber Levade. Chazal Aser, even bathing each Eber for itself. It says only Rechitza is Aser for each Eber. It doesn't say even Shtifa is Aser for each Eber. The line before it says the Chazal Aser Afil Lishpei Chamayim Akufi L'Shtata. You're not allowed to pour the water on your body. Now they even pour the water. Then the next line we want on said Afilu Chazal even Aser Reichitz Kolev Ever Levade. To even bathing each limb for itself. Rechitza is different than Shtifa. Rechitza means putting your body inside. So it seems from the Lashon that only when it comes to Ever Levade, each limb for itself, only Rechitza is Aser. Because he only says Reichitz. But it doesn't say that Afilu Shoitif, Reichitz Vishoitif, Kol Ever Levade. It's similar to diuk to the Pri Megadim has in the Shulchan Aruch. Pri Megadim has a similar diuk in the Mechaber that it seems to be that only Kol Gufa is Aser, because the Mechaber doesn't mention any Isser of each Ever for itself. So Yesh Makam Loimer, that if someone wants to pour hot water on each one of his bodies separately, even if he did his whole body, it will be mutter. It's a machlokes, it's not clear. Again, something which is not clear over here in the sugya. I just want to make clear what's clear and clear what's not clear.
2 things not clear.
So what's clear is you're not allowed to bathe your entire body fully in water. You're not allowed to bathe even each limb by itself if you're doing your whole body. Furthermore, It's clear you're not allowed to bathe majority of your body in the majority of your body in one shot inside the bath, inside the pool. Since it's majority of your body in one shot. What's not clear is if you do majority of your body not in one shot. You do your hand, then you do this hand, then you do this foot, and you leave out, let's say, your face. So you do majority of your body, roiv haguf, but not b'vasachas, not in one shot. That's not clear. That's the Magen. It depends how we interpret the Magen Avraham. Another thing we know Chazal aser, they aser not only bathing. Until now we're talking about rechitza. They aser even shtifa, pouring hot water. Now we have another suffix by shtifa. Did Chazal only aser when you pour hot water over your entire body? Or what happens if you pour hot water of each part of your body separate? The Gemara never discussed that. The Gemara discussed that on Machlokes Rav and Shmuel by rechitza, putting your arms into the pool, to the bath. But I do each one separately. It's not clear. From the Ran, it seems it's aser. From the Lashon Shulchan Aruch of the Mechaber and the Lashon Alter Rebbe, you can maybe make medayik that it's mutter. Pri Megadim points out from the Lashon of the Rambam, it seems it's aser. It's not clear in the Rambam. The Ran, it's clear it's aser. The Tehillah David held that the Smag held it's mutter, and the Marshal, the Shlomo Luria, one of the big Achroinim, held it's mutter. So over here again, you have a mucking which is not clear.
So we go to make on Shabbos.
Oh, getting back to the original Shaila.
It was last year, right?
We spoke about it once.
No, we spoke
I was thinking to do a whole separate shiur, but Lamaisa, we'll finish. We'll say it bekitzer over here. Going to the mikvah on Shabbos is a serious problem. It's mamish being roichitz your entire body. That is the actual gezerah of Chazal. Putting your body into hot water. It's a serious issue. So like we said last week, there was a Rav in Varsha, a Rav in Warsaw, Poland, that he said that there is more, it is easier to be matir going on a train on Shabbos than to go into hot mikvah Shabbos. But still alone, he concluded, someone who goes on a train on Shabbos is considered a mechal Shabbos, and someone goes in a hot mikvah on Shabbos is considered a chassid. So how do we work this out?
That's not a good answer. It's just like
It's not an answer.
No, we have to explain.
That's
We
not
have
an
to
answer.
explain.
That's not the answer.
you can't even use that.
No, this is an introduction. It's not a heter. Introduction.
You can't even assume that to be the
That's the end.
Oh.
That's the last sentence of the whole thing.
It's the shaila is not only for men. Really, the shaila originally is most important in the Geya for mikvah for nashim. Women going to the mikvah Friday night. This is a very serious issue. They're not going to go in cold water. They need to have hot water, warm water. So how do we deal with nashim going to the mikvah? Men is already a separate issue. We'll have to deal with men. How we deal with the poiskim, the early poiskim from the Chacham Tzvi, the Neidebi Yehuda. All the Gedolei HaPoiskim and the Korban Nesanel are all bothered with women. How are we going to help be matter hot mikvahs for women? The Siduri Taira. So the Maisa, there is a Korban Nesanel Masechah Shabbos, which is a pirish on the Rosh of a Nesanel vial, and the Korban Nesanel says one line. He doesn't explain himself. The Korban Nesanel says that is talking about Tvila, and this is Rechitza. Toiveling and rechitza. Toiveling, dipping yourself, and bathing is two separate things. He doesn't explain himself. And he says, like I explained in a sefer of mine, and somewhere else at length, we don't have this sefer, we don't have this pilpul, we don't know what he's referring to. The Neidebi Yehuda says, if I don't know what his svara is logic, I don't have to be makabelit. I don't have to accept it, because I don't know what his svara is. So I might say, I don't have to makabel it. So the Neidebi Yehuda says, pour the hot water in. He told the people in charge of the mikvah, put the hot water Erev Shabbos in early enough. By the time the women come in, it's not hot anymore. It's
not cold and it's not hot. What is it?
It's warm.
The hot makes it much worse than cold.
Because you're heating.
Api Chazal, Pi Gemar, Min Halacha, it's only hot water. And Yehuda said, B'cham and Aser, B'tzayin and Mutter. There is a minhag, by the way. When we spoke last week, I told you that if you see someone being reichitz of Chamei Tveria, So he has to rely upon. You have to remember it's only a pi chazal. L'maisa, the achronim already bring down, already from the times of Rishonim started a chumrah that even cold water, not to bathe oneself in cold water. That's why our minig is we don't take a cold shower also on Shabbos. Unless we said in certain extreme situations, one is very uncomfortable, one is very hot, so Rav Moshe will be matter, Rav Shlomo will matter in certain situations. But l'chatchila, even cold water we stay away from. So reality, the shaila with mikveh starts already with cold water, before hot water. That's really, but that's already shena minig. For the women going to the mikveh, cold water, they're allowed to go to the mikveh on Shabbos. They have to go to the mikveh, it's a chiyuv. But the shaila is hot water. For men going to the mikveh, it's not a chiyuv, they're going to the mikveh because the Arizal held you have to go to the mikveh Shabbos. They have a shaila, how could you even go into cold water? It's a minig not to go in cold water. And hot water is even a bigger shaila. But for the women, we have to understand how can you go into hot water. So the Karban Hasanel offers some type of Pesach to understanding. There's a chiluk over here. The women here are not, l'chura, this is what he means. The women are not bathing themselves. This is not rechitza. They're not going to wash them. They're fully clean before they go into the mikveh. They do chafifa and take off all the chatzit. They're going in and out. There's no shayla over here. It's in and out.
They're doing it l'shem mitzvah, not l'shem...
L'shem mitzvah, exactly.
The men should also go.
Why is it a mitzvah for men?
One of the Achreidim says, as maybe he's bringing up, that one of the Achreidim says that the Avnei Nezer writes that he was a son of the Kotzker. The Avnei Nezer writes that it's not correct that the men that are going to the mikveh sit around in the mikveh. You have to tell them not to sit there. You can't have, I don't want to destroy the fun, but you're not allowed to sit in a hot mikveh Shabbos. Not only that, even though you have to go to mikveh, the people making the mikveh should not be making the mikveh very hot on Shabbos. It should be warm, whatever, that you should be able to go in. But not dafka, it should be hot. And if you have a choice, you have some mikvahs, they have hot, cold, warm, you should not be going into the hot. I'm not telling you have to go into the cold. There's enough Atayrim to go into the warm mikveh. But it's a kula. We shouldn't be going.
Sit there an extra minute.
There wasn't hot mikvahs for men. There was no such a thing as a hot mikvah for men in Europe. For women, they figure out different cheshbainis for that night, how to have hot water. There was no such a thing as heated mikvahs, b'chalal. Heated mikvahs. It's a modern day concept.
During the week or
The Rebbe Rashab built a mikveh in Rostov. When he moved to the big city, he ran away from, and during World War II, he ran away from the Germans. He ran away in 1917. So he ran away to the south, close to Ukraine, to Rostov, a big city. And he built a mikveh in his basement, the famous mikveh where he built Bayar Gabi Bar, a special mikveh in his basement, which they found that mikveh 15 years ago. They went and bought back the house from the guy, and they found the actual mikveh still there.
Wow.
They pulled out the concrete, the mikveh still the original tiling. It's a famous mikveh. So he built that mikveh. He built that mikveh with a heating system in the water, but that was very modern, no one had it. So Lamaisa, the Chassidim in Russia did not have any hot mikvahs. They only came here as hot mikvahs. So they can't tie it as a Mesorah. A kopan in Russia, maybe in Warsaw it was a little different, but in Russia, in these villages, they didn't have for sure. Maybe in Poland it was a little more updated.
they have the three.
When I was there, they took all the stone from the mikveh because when they knock and they do the noises, they took out the stone, they put it outside in the chatzir and make a fence and wrote down in Russia Tzaloches. Using the mikveh. They didn't just throw this stone. They leave it outside.
They actually found also the original mezuzah, the original places where the mezuzahs were. They were able to see where the original mezuzahs were set up. The whole house. They bought the house.
The whole
Now they have the whole house set up. You can come in and see everything how the Rebbe Rashab had his beis medrash, and they had a yeshiva there for many years.
the windows is double windows
Inside the house?
It's a big complex. He bought a house it has a place for the horse and buggy to go inside, to go like a driveway to go into the courtyard.
Yeah. The windows have a porch. But to go to the porch, you have two doors. You open the door, then you have like half a foot, and then another door.
Uh-huh.
The double door. We didn't put the mezuzah. The whole machlokes right on there.
Well, 1 second. could look where the mezuzah was.
Lamaisa, with Gabi Kulis, we have to know that there are different Kulis.
Yeah, but now you can take one look at it and see where
We know for a fact, without understanding it, but we know that certain things, every group, Yirei Shemayim, have certain things they're machmerin, and certain things they feel that for certain things they're mekel. Let's say certain Litvish Kehilas, before Tekiyas, they make Kiddush. They make Kiddush on Rosh Hashanah before Tekiyas. And a Hasidic Kehillah is considered like eating before Tekiyas, sitting having the whole Kiddush, Shmorgasborg, this is terrible. But in that Kehillas, this is Mamash Api Alocha, very hard to find Makar to be mekel. You're not allowed to eat before mitzvah, especially a mitzvah of Tekiyas Shoifer. And here they're having a whole Suda. So where did it originate from? It originated from the Musa Yeshivas. The Musa Yeshivas in Europe felt that the Bachrim, to daven the whole Musaf Tefillah, and the long davening, the Iker is Musaf, and they're going to be Shvach, so they should eat something like Lubavitch eats before davening because they hold they're going to be weak to daven. They hold on Rosh Hashanah we're going to be mekel, and they make a Kiddush. Some flappers, you go to many shuls, they have a Kiddush before it's Kiyas.
In Uman.
In Uman they also do? Everyone?
Uman probably has 10 different...
The big shul there.
The big shul has a Kiddush?
They don't, the kids, they break.
They break. So Lamaisa, what's that? It's a kula. It's a leniency. It's a big kula. But when they felt that this kula was important because it brought about a bigger hitter in something, so they were make on that. So Hasidim, Ein Chanami, there's certain kulas involved with going in a mikvah Shabbos, but they felt that overweight, becoming tahar like the Arizal wanted, that people should go to the mikvah, and it's going to be a cold mikvah, they're not going to do it. They felt this overweight. So everyone has the person that's going on the train on Shabbos, he's not going because he wants to mahadar mitzvahs. He's not going because he wants to be machmer. He's not because he has some Yirah Shemayim kavanah. He's going on the train because he wants to go on the train. So for him, Ein Chanami, it's still usher. Just as there's certain kula, but it's still usher. So the Maisi, you're not going to be matter. Someone who is coming to mahadar mitzvahs, certain things, every group has their certain kulas that they take. Some chassid, some people eat in the sukkah shmini atzeres, some don't eat in the sukkah shmini atzeres. Everyone has their inyan with their macher mekel as long as it's coming with toich yirah shemayim. If the reason why you're mekel mahadar in brisk, we're coming up to Tisha B'Av, we one time gave a shiur on this. There's a fairish chumrah if you look in Paiskim to not wear sneakers on Tisha B'Av Yom Kippur. It's a chumrah. It's comfortable sneakers. How could you go like that? However, there is a mahalich to learn the Paiskim that only leather is awesome. Only actual leather. I feel comfortable. Shkoyach. Api Kabbalah, it's only leather. If you look in Kabbalah, it's only leather. So there are two kehilis that are dafke mekel. Who is it? Brisk and Lubavitch. In other Litvish circles, you'll see them take, maybe they take the shoes to shul. When they come to shul, they take off the shoes and walk around with socks. They walk around with socks. But in Chabad, they were not machmer on it. And in brisk, they're always very machmer. I mean, they're not machmer. No. The Fedish, you can walk around.
What's the difference between eating before?
A lot of kehilas that were very machmer, a lot of things, that came to certain things were mekel, for different reasons. As long as the cheshbonis, the calculations, that Yirah Shemayim, cheshbonis,
What's the difference?
that kehil, ain't do with the kehil chayim.
That's it.
What's the difference between
Bavad sheyichav l'slim l'shamayim. What?
Technically,
The Lubavitcher Hasidim used to put on tefillin before they eat. They wouldn't eat before without putting on tefillin.
oh, really?
Now, I don't see a lot doing it, but there are still some that do it.
Not only they don't do it, they never even heard of it.
There are still today Lubavitcher Hasidim. There's still today Lubavitcher Hasidim that do it. They won't eat before tefillin.
Really?
Drink, I would assume they would drink. They only eat it.
Really? You know people who put on
Yeah.
phone?
Many people, not only that, they don't put on their own tefillin because of a shaila, or according to the shita, that they might not be able to make another bracha on their own tefillin because they already put on tefillin in the morning. So therefore, they take someone else's tefillin. They borrow someone else's tefillin, put it on in the morning. They say Kriya Shema on it, and only then they have mazonis. Most people don't do it. Don't get me wrong. Most people don't do it. But
That answers my question about shofar.
I have in my koil in Gamano does it every morning.
By the way, by Chabad,
I see Alter Hasidim doing it. When I was in yeshiva, there were a number of bachrim that did it. They were the minority. They were definitely a
I
minority.
wonder how many people do that today.
No, by Chabad,
It's definitely going less and less.
We don't eat nothing.
Rosh Hashanah, comes Rosh
We don't eat,
Hashanah.
they don't drink.
But we don't
Some
drink
people are matter drinking. Some people in Chabad it's two different minhagim.